Hello and welcome. Right, yes, once more onto the breach now. Yeah, it is time for I think it. Oh, is it time for us to go through? I don't think it's ready yet, is it? I think it's tomorrow morning that the crops are ready. Yeah, they're dark green. I'm jumping the gun a little. Yeah, it's not quite ready. So it's time to go through till tomorrow. Really, is what is the truth. Now I think we've already checked the sales. Oh, that's new. Now, as I know, these don't actually, they don't actually last till the next day. So really, we'll do that now. Yeah, we'll get that to see. It just goes to show it's very fluid now, this particular feature. So, yeah, I mean, it's always a good idea to check if you were using this feature. I mean, I have always liked to try to embrace the entire gamut of FS. Some things I prefer. Certain things, my sensibilities, a bit like the fuel runs Mr. Silly Peas to do and water runs for cash on a couple of Alien Gyms maps. I'm not a massive fan of that kind of thing because it does, in real life, you could do it. You could like buy and sell, let's be honest. Many businesses actually do that, so there's nothing wrong with it. It's just I always like the game to represent our efforts on our farm or our farm with productions, and that is the way that I've always sort of run it. So it, to me, I can't do that because it just goes against my sensibilities. It doesn't mean it's wrong, it just means I don't do it. The same as I'm not a massive fan of Unreal, but if I buy a trailer with it, then I'll keep it. But I wouldn't, again, I said earlier last session about not really wanting to cross that line of like going Unreal myself, or just doing big, a bit cheeky perhaps, but not actually like 200,000 litres or 500,000 litres or 1,000,000 litres is a step too far. For me, it doesn't mean it's wrong for anyone else. Right, so then let's go through till tomorrow morning where our fields, I think, will be right. Yeah, I've got a couple of items as well, obviously, in the sales. But again, I always find this is the worst. I don't think I've seen an update for it, but there might have been. Now production costs not quite so bad as they have been. Yeah, that's true. So perhaps we've done all of like. Oh, I also have found out how to do the fine control as well. Yeah, so I know now how to do it to actually gain that extra bit of speed, which is not too terrible a thing for us. Right, so this is what came overnight. That exact one. Adjustable. Oh, so he does come in different sizes. Oh. So how come we can only see the 15 version then? Because, I mean, it's a little bit special. I mean, obviously, I use the mulcher on the plough, but if you didn't want to do that and you wanted to go no-till, you could still get your mulching bonus, but you can also go for a weedy too. And for 16,438 for a 21.3 metre, I know we've got a 12, but really, that's a little bit special. It is. I think we will, because, I mean, that is a proper cultivator that's 350 horsepower. So it's 350 horsepower for all of it. Right, okay, so that's a bit special. But it is, but is it worth 16,438? Absolutely it is, so we will be buying that. There's not, this is one of those days I was trying to say that not every day you can't always do fantastically out of these sort of sales, and this is one of them. But again, if we get that one sort of thing, that as far as I'm concerned, that's still fairly good. And you can't win them all, that's my point. So we'll buy that for ourselves. And we will have it as adjustable. Whatever that means. Whether that means it's all 3 in 1, I don't think it will be, but I'm not sure what adjustable means. But it is nice to see that it is in different sort of sizes, because the one we saw was 15.3 metres. So I don't know how you get to the other bits and bobs, but it is rather an intriguing bit of kit. Does that surprise me? It's BC Bueller? Not at all. BC Bueller is, a very, very good modder. He's done some of my favourite mods of all time. I mean, Black Sheep modding, I'd have to probably say was One of those models. Yeah, his sheds were my all-time favourite sheds. Yeah, a brilliant design. Not only, and not just because they were cheap. I've always said this. I always said, yeah, the design was very practical for game purposes. Again, he worked with the game. It was one of the best designed sheds that I'd seen. Okay, it's not in the... There's a similar one made by one of the other modders with one of my favourites sheds in FS25, but it's... yeah, I'll show you what I'm on about. Yeah, I fell in love with this 4000, this one here. It's very similar. It's got a large skirt. It's the only thing that lets it down. I'd put it down far often, but the skirt makes it unusable sometimes, so I don't always use it as often. And now I've made my own sheds where I've actually taken that into consideration, where I have done a very, very tight bits so that you're not, you know, you can put my shed right up against the railings, because I've deliberately designed it so the apron on it is not large. I did that on purpose because almost everybody else doesn't do that, and I thought, well, no one has designed a shed that I want or that fits the situation that I want, so I'm gonna have to do it myself. So I did, and yeah, I've done obviously small, medium and large. Again, this may be something I do actually put into the model, only I'd like to remove the solar panels, or do two versions, one with solar panels, one without. Yeah, it might be better, because it wouldn't be a bad idea to have the solar panels on, but as I've switched them on quite a few of my mods. But yeah, as the basic version, I just want it cheap, which, you know, so that it is just a very basic shelter, very, very low cost, that would suit a start from scratch or anybody on a very tight budget on a farming sort of thing. So 298, I would imagine. Our fields are ready now, I would imagine, but we shall see. Am I right? I am indeed, and it is raining. Okay, then when is it going to stop is what I would like to know. It is going to stop at 11ish. Zip through then, and let's see if I can do this. So it doesn't quite work as you think. Give it an extra half hour as well, I think. Right, there we go. That'll do me. Fantastic. 12:59 October. We have an awful lot to do, and we only have one harvester. We do. Do I do this? Would that and help us a little bit? Because I could like dart to here with this with all of the time, which workers don't tend to do. And also I'm not going to faff around as the workers frequently do with, yeah, it's true. What was that? Great demand at animal dealer. Oh, well, let's quickly sell this little lot, which is only that one thing. Which is going to be... Now, yeah, there is one that Biggins made. Now, if I was going to buy one, I had have it on Star Valley, which I have not released yet, because I always intended to go... Well, I am intending to go back. But Saxlingham actually got released, and this is a map I was wanting to, so I've like dropped quite a few of those kind of things at the minute, and I hadn't done any posting. So but yeah, on that one I've got the Biggins one. You can actually up the horsepower, and then it can actually drag the baler itself, which is rather special and quite possible really if you did do that. Fantastic. So that was a very good way of making 20 grand. Right, so then, yeah, that's all we've got for now. So then, I think I'm going to do... I think it's quite sensible if I do this myself, because I'm not going to faff around with... as if I can actually find my fields at all. I can't find my harvester. Ah, there we go. Yeah, it's there. Right, so I believe we are going to do this. It's going to be little old me, and I am going to like drop everything into the silo, and then we will continue to make our... Now, it's a bit of a tight window now, because I think it's... Oh, no, actually, now I'm talking nonsense. This sells really good all year round. It's one of those things, the mineral feed is good. It's a good price, a bit like pig food. It's always good, so you can always make a profit. And I think that's been pushed. I'm not sure I'm going to get that, but I'll give it a shot. I think I might have actually... Yeah, I thought so. Let's grab the telehandler, and then I'm going to go into a time lapse because we've got a lot to do. So yeah, I'm going to say my words. I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. coming out of the time lapse a little early because I am really actually falling asleep. Yeah, that's why I made that mistake. It's sort of like, you know, when your eyes just close because you really are that tired. It's like that, but I can see how close I am, so I am going to soldier on. We're very close to finishing, so yeah, I'm trying to put some matchsticks under my eyes, as the saying goes. So just trying to keep myself busy. So done those things. Wouldn't be surprised if the stone picker. Yeah, I mean, I'm quite pleased because we've done the stone picking, grabbed the straw. It's, yeah, quite impressive, really. I thought I was to begin with when I first started. Obviously, I was going to do it all. I did the 3 small fields, and I thought you really could grab all the straw if you leave Courseplay going on the last field. And then I could always take over. We've got the 200 ton, and I thought, and I can always take over and drop it in here, but I haven't really. It's, yeah, I was too busy doing everything else. But really, it's been a cracking session. And we've nearly gone till 3 o'clock. Yeah, we have, naturally. Yeah, so this irrigation, I'm a bit intrigued, really, as to, obviously, I can see we can spray water now, but unless it's like, there was that kit that I never was really that bothered about, and that was the pumps and hoses or something like that. I thought, well, I'm not bothered really about that. So I've never bought it, never really bothered that I have or haven't got it. So I wonder if it is to do with that, because obviously I've got no, I mean, I know what it does, but yeah, I'm not sure whether it's anything like that. I can't recall when I read about, I think it's all to do, obviously the moisture and all that, it's all to do with the realistic weather mod. So I'm really not sure. Ooh. Oh, no, it's just emptying. Yeah, I'm really not sure as to, obviously because there's a cost, so I'm not sure, but I haven't been looking either, so I'll keep my eyes peeled, and I'll see if I can get a minute, then I'll check as well. So, do we do the last little bit? Let's just have a look how much there is as well. As to how much, yeah, it's still quite a bit, but it's not as much as you think, because there's short rows now. If we took over, yeah, oh, wow. Oh, it's these corners. Yeah, they're really a bit dumb when they're like reversing backwards. They can't sense that they're not moving forwards. They can't realise that they're. Yeah, it's a bit odd, but it's true of all. This new reversing sort of thing is really bad behaviour. It's, yeah, they just sit there on the edge of the field because they're reversing and they cannot move reverse. The game's not checking for like any lack of movement. It's you could quite easily say, right, if I don't move backwards when I'm reversing, then obviously something's wrong. But yeah, as I keep saying, garbage in, garbage out. From a programmatical perspective, the AI will only ever be as good as the programmers that program it. Yeah, so I mean, I can't really stick up for Giants on this, because if Courseplay can do it, then why can't Giants? I mean, Courseplay's not perfect, but it is very good. Now, I think some of it, I think the baling, now obviously in FS22, it got improved, but even on FS22, no, FS25 actually it was, no thinking about it, I always suspected that Giants could quite easily let the AI bail, but they chose not to. So you wonder how much of the progress is Giants hampering by their not wanting things to happen in a certain way. And again, I know this obviously is a modder because they've basically said no, you know, like by like throwing your mods out. If you try and do something that they don't want in the game, they'll go on about their workflow. Yeah, it's true. No, it is true. I can't like. Yeah, I don't know what goes through their head. I just know years of experience of playing the game. You notice certain characteristics about and obviously now from the modding perspective, I notice another sort of section. I know like that BDSSB was the first. He sort of did the Kinsey convert, and then obviously others did it. So whether he, because modders tend to work in modding circles, whether he knew other modders and said, oh, you know, knock on with it, you know, like it was Chris S. and Riley S, I think, did it in FS22. So whether BDSSB or whether they saw his channel and they did it and Giants let them do it. But yeah, BDSSB now, obviously with things like this, Giants are allowing it. But there's been other cases like this. Yeah, Lambo Mods, he's a modder that I've like learnt a lot from. Then, are you actually doing anything, or are you just sitting there? What are you doing? What's that about? I mean, there was no like blocked or anything. What's that about? Do you know? This is what I'm on about, case in question. Wreckers. It is ridiculous, really. Just sitting there, but not even, no block, no, like, not. I mean, I never put it there, so what I mean is Cosplay did. Yeah, it is. I'm not trying to be. Yeah, I'm not trying to moan, even though I am moaning, really. But what I'm saying is, it's more observations of like over the years, and obviously now I've got like another sort of perspective, and that is that of a modder. If you do something that Giants don't want, then your mod's never going to make it in. But then sometimes Giants can surprise you, and they do let things in that you wouldn't expect. So it's a bit odd, and it's weird that. That does seem a bit of if your face fits. I know, like, obviously Lambo Mods is another modder, cracking modder. Right, okay, let's let you do that, and we'll grab. Yeah, he really is a very good modder, and he doesn't say anything about Giants per se, and yet, in his own way, his actions say quite a lot. Now, I'm a bit more vocal. I'm not. Yeah, I've never been one for like playing politics. Never. Hate office politics. They've all got them, and I never play that game. I can't be doing with it. You know, as an IT technician, I'm there to do a job, and like, yeah, my present place has got politics, and I can't be doing with it. I just like try to do a good job and stay out of it. Yeah, I'm there to do a job. I'm there to get paid and to do a good job. And I try my best, always with all things, always have had. I always... Yeah, I think I said something a few months back, and it was a bit on those lines. The famous saying of Yoda to Luke, which was, you know, do or do not. There is no try. And it's... sort of always my perspective. It is true. Some people are very half-hearted. They're just like they don't like do things properly, or they don't put their whole heart into things. That's just not me. You know, like you know. Let me just get rid of this Macrium thing. That's it sort of bursts into the game. All right, it's gone. Yeah, it is. It's sort of true, but again, it's just your personality, isn't it? Really, you know what you're willing to do and all that type of stuff, and like I just can't be doing with it. Never have, never will. But I'm always going to do my absolute best, and it is true. I don't particularly care if I mean I do for the fact that I'd like to share. I didn't create all of these contraptions just for my own entertainment. Though it is entertaining. I mean, this is particularly fantastic. I say I must have released this about the weekend after Dr. Julia, who inspired me to sort of do this, but also to improve on it. He'd sort of like left some things out that I thought, wow, that would be so much better. I sort of saw what he did, and then as I see it, improved upon it from my perspective. And there are others now. There are 2 or 3 that have come into the game. But again, obviously what I did must have... Maybe the vehicle part of it is a little bit too much, but I thought, because it's not really a vehicle, we know that. It's all it represents is, as in many situations in the game, is a worker jumping into that and working. It's not really representing magic. You know, like, it's not like going on its own. There's a worker on that, only you're not seeing the worker. So, and the fact that it's a tractor, I've got to call it a vehicle in that way. Now, I know that, so I modded it so that you could see it as a tractor on the map. And because of that fact, you can jump into it. You can't use anything like follow me and that. It knows it's not really a vehicle, but I'm classifying it so you can see. I've declared that it's got a hopper. I've given it a capacity and I've told it to show that. All of these things are all sort of things, and like you think, well, none of them. They're all just trying to give you the most out of this mod. And say, I didn't, again, a bit like I said earlier, I didn't load the Salt one out of disgust for the fact that Giants sort of said, nothing against the modder, but I just don't want a reminder of the fact that some people are allowed to do these things and I'm not. It just, I hate that kind of unfairness. That's, it's just a reminder of the politics that go on, you know, in life, and you either compromise your integrity and play the game. That's why I don't ever want to be a Giants partner, ever. Even if it means I've got to wait in line with every other person, I'd sooner that than me accept the bribe from Giants of being a partner, which means I get early access, but then I'm in their pocket, you could say, because that's how it works. I can't be a free spirit if I'm not a free spirit. I can't, you know, there are a lot of Giants partners, but if you're a Giants partner, you are a Giants partner. And what does that actually mean? It means you're going to get early access. I'm not sure what else it means. Obviously, I'm not a partner and I never will be, so I'll never know. But I'm not prepared to play that game because I'm not going to look Giants' way. I want to be impartial. I can't be impartial if I'm in Giants' pocket as a partner. And I don't mean... I'm sort of painting I'm using a bit of hyperbole. Yeah, I really am. Just to exaggerate. Because I'm not for 1 minute saying that everyone who's a partner is totally... I mean, I've heard Mr. CLP and a lot of the big names, when they've obviously got early access, they're not really like looking Giants' way in that way. They will say it how they see it, and they'll go off pat a little bit with the equipment when they should be. Mr. CLP did a bit of that when the testing of FS25, when he got early access. He didn't do it exactly the Giants way, so I'm not saying that these people are in Giants' pocket in that way, that like Giants are in total control, because that's obviously a gross exaggeration. Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, I don't want to keep on banging the drum, or I don't really want to keep on bashing Giants, but I sort of have seen things always, and then now I've got this other perspective that I've seen an even worse thing, and then when I see things that like Lambo says, and like, again, he's well known to Giants and they know him and he knows them, but he doesn't play their game, and he doesn't need Giants to tell him that he can mod, because he can tear a mod to pieces like BDSSB and like make it in his sleep and make it as pretty as you like, as complicated as you like, and he can make it work. He is that good, but he doesn't play the Giants game, and that's what I'm saying. I'm in my own way. If I have got to be another Lambo, if like, you know, like Giants are never going to accept your work and they're always going to see you as the enemy, then I'm not playing the game. But I really do wish that the contraptions that I do get into the game for other people's enjoyment. I mean, there were quite a few mods that stand out to me as being quite, yeah, Omatana. a lot of her mods are really quite, and obviously she's heavily accepted. I mean, Omatana, I would say, has been the modder given the most leeway. Some of her mods are a bit too powerful, especially in FS25, and yet Giants are okay with that. Hispano, no, Hispano is on fire. He's like really releasing mods left, right, and centre, but that's not bad. It just proves he's a good modder. But yeah, I suppose BDSSB is the one that stands out to me the most as someone who wasn't accepted by Giants, but now he got one mod in, the fertilizer plants, and I really loved it. And again, he went out and yeah, he did something totally different to what any other modder would do. He's the only one that made silage into fertilizer, the only one that sort of went off track a little bit, because you can do anything with the game production. Something obviously as a modder that I grasped the other day was that I can change anything from something to something else, because the game, that's the power of productions. Of course I wouldn't, because it's imbalanced and it is a game. I wish to literally follow the game in a game-like way where it makes sense. I want all of my mods to be balanced. I don't want to change. Yeah, I mean, I said this a long time ago. One of the biggest or most expensive things in the game, well, it is silage additive. Now, I was quite young as a modder. Quite a few months in, I'd done quite a bit when I did silage additive. Now, the game will let you create it. I think the first thing that I realised was a no-no, where Giants have got like things that they say, no, you can't do that, you can't have that, was... Second, let me just concentrate on grabbing this as well. Yeah, it was liquid fertilizer. I was obviously, one of the first things I did was I tried to make cheaper seeds, really quite low level stuff, very low level stuff. Cheaper seeds, cheaper fertilizer, cheaper liquid fertilizer, and it wouldn't let me do liquid fertilizer. And I was like, and then one day I saw, obviously you look as a modder, when you press this, you go into that, and that says things to you. Now, obviously, as a modder, you have that on quite frequently. It tells you things as a modder, what is, and it's not anything magic. It's something that everybody could learn. I mean, I suppose it helps. I'm IT anyway, so I'm used to programming, I'm used to scripting and all that type of stuff. So I suppose there's a bit of an advantage to me if you were not in that circle at all, and you've got to learn programming. That's quite a big thing. I mean, it's only minor programming. I'm not like talking about programming, but what I mean is scripting. Obviously, the game uses that, and that is like scripting. It's telling you what is right, what is wrong. It goes red when it sees something it doesn't like, yellow if it's sort of like mediocre, but most things with Giants are red. You know, like it's, even if you've like gone out of your case is wrong, it'll go in red, which is almost like a major infringement. And I always think, well, how ridiculous. Why would you do like your case is wrong in red? Surely that's a yellow. It's a minor infringement. And you'd do like case. I mean, coming from a programming background, if I was going to tell a programmer off, as in like for something, it would be in degrees of infringements, not a major red. I mean, that's like just shouting at someone for like a minor, and that's what it's like. And it is little things like that sort of reveal the mind of Giants. You can sort of see oddities that at first don't make much sense, and then as you sort of keep on looking, you see more and more, and you like notice more of these oddities. Yeah, I mean, the game's a mess, and Giants have, like, from the very beginning of FS25, they've never admitted it's a mess. They've got that, we're releasing a new patch with a load of content, like, in a couple of weeks. Free content. You think, well, just the game fixed would be good enough, really, Giants. The game that we all paid for. Never mind about rubbing it in the free content. I don't particularly care about more tractors or prairie packs or anything else if the game isn't working. You know, and that's the reality of it. Is that everything? Did I get it all? Or am I? No, I think I did. I think that is it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it doesn't do any good. It's just I'm trying to make relevance of, like, you know, the things, and to sort of prove that I'm not just being bitter or anything like that, that it's based upon a really good look and many, many years of both playing the game and now modding, and hitting against brick walls. Now, I know there is brick walls, which was the modder one that we've all heard of. Oh, I can't think of his name now. That's this one. Yeah, let me just send that one over there. I'm a bit careful, there's a tree or something. Yeah, I was going to say. Right, yeah, probably just sent him. Oh, no, he can actually... That's it, I was going to send him, like, on his merry way, or her merry way, actually. So how much? 78,541 litres off this field. Amazing. So that's the last field. We should leave that trundling over the winter months, and it will get done at some point. So, yeah, what I'm trying to do is, like, sort of prove in a way, again, that I'm not making it up, sort of thing, that these things do happen, and that there's enough, not just me, because it could look like you're ranting, whereas, like, there's quite a few modders. Mantrid, that's the one. Yeah, I was sort of post from Mantrid. I could see that when he first started his modding, I think it's a bit like the first time an author gets published. I think it's very difficult, and I think Giants probably give you quite a hard time and, like, make it difficult for you, and, like, a bit like a sergeant major trying to make you quit the army, you know, like, and see if you've got what it takes. I think it's a little bit like that, because Mantrid has got quite a few things that you can still see on the forums when he was asking for Giants' help and, like, not getting it, and there were comments that obviously, and again, I suppose the forum's a public thing. There are many people who make comments that never ever get a response from Giants on their forum. That speaks volumes. It does. Yeah, so I'm not, like, you know, trying to be nasty or anything. Anyway, we will continue this conversation throughout the next, we will. I'm not going to, I'm just trying to say it is based upon proper observation and proper evidence, and not just my own either. Yeah, really. But it is still a fantastic game. And again, it's just talking about the politics of Giant software. Really, that there is, it's not all as it appears to be. And it never is. Nobody is never that. Like that. So then we do need to see how is this going to be. So there's a lot of digestate, so we can call for that at some point, which is brilliant. We've got corn, 27,000 litres in there as well, and 8,000 litres in that one. I think we've told it. Yeah, I've told the corn to distribute on all of them. Yeah, so that even if it is in there, it should come across at some point. So the corn's 85,000 litres in this one. Oh, wow. It's filled with digestate. Loads of stones. Loads of straw. The water's gone down. Right, okay. So that is churning along. So we need to put some more water in before we... 28 tonnes of wheat. So have I actually... Yeah, that's the... 28 tonnes. Is that right? I'm not sure. I don't think we've switched the wheat one on, though. So we need to switch that one on and the wheat one on too. Have we finished the oat one? I think we have. Yeah, so we finished the oats. Yeah, we have. So we can switch the oats one off. Keep the other two on now. Let's just top the water up, because we're going to need to regularly do that, really. You know, because it's going to, like, absolutely pound that. Is it? I don't know that it is. It's the grass bit that's going to do that, isn't it? Let's have a look. It's digestate. Yeah, the mineral feed is digestate, stones and straw. Doesn't care about water at all, but the grass does. So we will do it anyway. Yeah, we need to... Yeah, let's grab that out, because that's now empty. We'll fill that, and then as far as I'm concerned, this has been a cracking and very long session. Yeah, it has. I was falling asleep. It's amazing, isn't it? You sort of like, when you start to concentrate on something, you start to wake up. But I've no doubt that I will soon fall asleep once I have finished this. So yeah, I'm not going to like push it too much. Let's just get this sorted out. Probably it's a little bit why I'm ranting a bit. You could sort of get tired, don't you? And like your emotions are sometimes a little bit more. Because of course, obviously, as I said, it's not like I want to. The thing I wanted the most was to share these mods. My very first thing was when I realised I was going to mod, when I wanted to, and I started to look into it, was the simple Razek fertilizer, and it was the very first mod I did. I added lime to it, and I was so excited. I thought, oh wow, other people do want this, and I thought, well, can't I improve the fertilizer spreader? It would only be giving it better discs in real life. So I then started to do that, and then obviously it was my first fail in giant size, and they said it's not improving our workflow. So, and I thought, well, that wasn't really the idea. It was to pass this on to other people. It was the first time they made that comment that obviously they've made quite a few times now about improving their workflow. I could sort of I keep meaning to screenshot this so you can actually see it, that I'm not making it up. Right, let's just check the sales. Oh, beautiful. We could actually buy that. Fantastic. Oh, it is an 8 point. No, I'm not sure how big that is. I should pay a bit more attention. Do this very last year. I don't know why I did that. I think yeah. I meant to quit and pack in, and now like we're still cracking on. That's typical of me. It is. Right, let's get this last job done then. So we have done well, filled the water up, got everything ready, bought that beautiful thing for 16,000. That is amazing. That is. Got most of our stuff gone, which that was also amazing. Now, I mean, obviously, there is a certain thing that obviously Giants want the best for, and they've got high standards. Now that I'm not for 1 minute saying is wrong. Now that is a good thing. Their quality control of things is quite amazing. But this like controlling, like if a mod meets their requirements, that's a little bit, yeah, that I'm not impressed with. That you're not allowed to do this and you're not allowed to do that, so it doesn't get into the game. Production silos, again, no one's had one in. You've got to ask yourself the question, why is this the case? Because productions are broken. It doesn't work properly. You've seen it in I've had the production silos right from about 3 months in, and they've always exhibited strange behaviour. Well, it shouldn't be like that, and Giants are in control of that. I only put the productions in. I don't control what they do. That's done by the software. So the system's wrong, not the mod itself, which is why you're not seeing any production silos as of yet. But yeah, because they're not quite right, and there's got to be a reason why you're not seeing that right now. Because I've had one from literally, if you watch my Let's Plays, you'll see very, very early on. Trying to think what my first production silo was. It was all on my favourite map by Oxygen David. It was actually, that was when I first started to mod. No, it didn't before that. Yeah, Riverbend Springs. Obviously, I did the cannery with Suit Factory, but I was only like literally scratching the surface of modding at that point. I had no real skill at all. I had not got any insight into anything at that point. But you start to ask questions and probe, and then obviously you learn a few tricks, and you learn a few more, It gives you quite a lot of insight into how the game works and all that type of stuff. And then you get those eureka moments where you like see through, and you can like you really plumb the depths. And I've had a few of those moments where you think, I get it. But mostly about placeables, and a bit like I said earlier, like as a modder, I realised I could change anything from anything to anything if I wish to. But then that would be like, again, as I said, it's a bit like cheating. If I like convert straw to gold, where's the basis for that in reality? And that's my point. Good modders make things that are sort of realistic, and that's, I've always wanted that, like for the play balance side of things, like, you know, where it's got to sort of make sense to me. I don't want to be like putting straw in and getting like 3 times the amount in manure. That was one mod that was cracking, but too good. And again, the play balance has got to be there, otherwise I feel like I'm cheating. So yeah, that's my guiding sort of factor. Anyway, I'm tired, or I wouldn't be maudling in my drink. Yeah, so all that remains to be said for this session is thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on this and other journeys. And I do really hope that, obviously, a bit like BDSSB, that he did quite a lot of mods. I've read the rulebook by Giants now. I have done quite a few mods properly where I've done it their way, and they still all got thrown out. And none of them were anything too, the production silos. I can understand why they perhaps aren't letting those in. I would imagine I'm not the only modder that's put production silos in, because we had loads of them in FS22. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the only modder that's done the. Obviously, Dr. Drewley did his mover, and then I made the mover. Another modder's made the same thing with lights, like I would want to do with the mover, but I've not done that yet. But yeah, you just sort of think, well, other people sort of did it, so I'm just going to knuckle down, do my best, and hope that some of these get through, especially the placeables. They're the things that I think are the best, in so much as because it's I've tried to make them as balanced as possible. So yeah, watch this space. I am still going to knuckle down and do my best, because I would really like to share them with everybody who plays this fantastic game. Whatever the politics, it's still a fantastic game. It really is, and that's what you got to remember. It is. So yeah, and on that note, I'm going to say goodbye for now.